Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese Premier Qiang met in Moscow on November 18, 2025, as part of the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation (SCO) summit. The meeting was a crucial moment in the ongoing strengthening of the bilateral relationship between Russia and China. As two of the world's largest countries by landmass and population, their relationship has increasingly been marked by shared strategic interests and mutual goals. The SCO summit provided the perfect backdrop for furthering these aims. The event began with the arrival of Chinese Premier Qiang and Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin, both of whom arrived at the venue in preparation for the bilateral talks. Qiang's presence at the meeting underscored China's commitment to its relationship with Russia, emphasizing the importance Beijing places on maintaining and deepening ties with its northern neighbor. Mikhail Mishustin, as the head of the Russian government, represented Moscow's interests in strengthening its partnership with China. The bilateral talks officially kicked off when Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived to meet with Chinese Premier Qiang. This high-level meeting was part of ongoing diplomatic exchanges aimed at addressing a broad range of issues concerning both countries. From economic cooperation to military collaboration and geopolitical challenges, the discussions between Putin and Li covered a broad spectrum of topics. In recent years, Moscow and Beijing have increasingly aligned their foreign policy, especially in the face of shifting global power dynamics and the growing influence of Western countries. As both leaders settled into the meeting room, Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke first. His opening remarks set the tone for the discussions, focusing on the ever-strengthening ties between Russia and China. "We continue to strengthen the strategic partnership between Russia and China," Putin declared, highlighting the ongoing development of their relationship. His statement emphasized not only the long-standing diplomatic, economic, and military cooperation between the two countries, but also the growing importance of their partnership in the evolving international order. With both nations facing external pressures, Putin's words underscored the mutual benefits they gain from collaboration. The focus of the talks was clear from the outset. Both leaders aimed to deepen their nations' relationship across multiple domains, including trade, energy, and defense. The economic cooperation between the two countries has been expanding steadily, with China emerging as Russia's largest trading partner. This includes significant energy deals, such as the supply of Russian natural gas and oil to China, along with joint projects in other sectors like infrastructure development. Chinese Premier Qiang responded, reinforcing China's commitment to furthering its partnership with Russia. In his speech, Premier Li stated, "China is ready to enhance cooperation with Russia across all sectors." This marked a direct endorsement of President Putin's words and an affirmation that China sees its relationship with Russia as a cornerstone of its foreign policy. Li's comments not only focused on economic aspects, but also reflected the broad nature of the ties between the two nations. From technological development to regional security, Beijing's engagement with Moscow is expansive. The two leaders also focused on regional security matters. Over recent years, both Russia and China have faced challenges in their respective regions that require cooperation. Russia's actions in Ukraine and the broader European context, alongside China's territorial claims in the South China Sea and issues with Taiwan, have positioned both nations in opposition to Western interests. As part of the bilateral talks, President Putin and Premier Li discussed ways in which their nations could further align on regional security issues, ensuring that their interests are safeguarded in an increasingly multipolar world. One of the significant outcomes of this meeting was the affirmation of stronger defense ties. The growing military cooperation between Russia and China has been a focal point in their relationship, with the West's increasing involvement in Ukraine and ongoing tensions between China and the United States. Both Moscow and Beijing have sought to strengthen their military capabilities. Russia has sold sophisticated weaponry to China, including advanced air defense systems and fighter jets. Furthermore, both nations have conducted joint military exercises in the past, demonstrating the operational cohesion between their armed forces. This aspect of the relationship is critical as both countries face external military threats and seek to present a unified front on the global stage. In addition to defense and security cooperation, the two leaders also discussed broader geopolitical developments. A key area of focus was the changing dynamics in the international system, where both Russia and China are seeking to carve out more influence. As the United States and European Union remain central players in global geopolitics, both Moscow and Beijing have been looking for ways to challenge the existing international order. Their discussions likely centred on how to coordinate their efforts within organisations like the United Nations, the BRICS Group, and of course, the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation, SCO. Both nations are major players in the SCO, an intergovernmental organisation that focuses on political, economic and security-related cooperation. In his comments, Russian President Putin emphasised the importance of the SCO, noting how the organisation has allowed member states to cooperate more closely, particularly in areas of security and economic development. The organisation, which includes China, Russia, India and several Central Asian states, has grown in stature as a counterbalance to Western-dominated institutions like NATO. As the SCO continues to expand its reach, both Russia and China are positioning themselves at the heart of its operations, working together to shape its future direction. The two leaders also discussed issues related to trade and energy. Russia, with its vast natural resources, and China, with its growing economy and increasing demand for energy, have found common ground in their economic exchanges. The Siberia gas pipeline, which sends Russian natural gas to China, is a flagship project in this area. The Power of Siberia pipeline, which began operation in 2019, is expected to significantly expand Russia's energy exports to China. These projects have been part of a larger strategic effort by both countries to reduce their reliance on Western markets and institutions. Premier Qiang reaffirmed China's commitment to these initiatives, emphasizing that the Chinese government is eager to continue expanding bilateral trade. He mentioned that China would increase its efforts to import more energy resources from Russia and explore new avenues of collaboration in the technology sector. China's growing need for raw materials and Russia's vast energy reserves make their economic partnership mutually beneficial. Beyond these economic discussions, both leaders also reflected on cultural and educational exchanges. With their vast geographical expanse and complex histories, Russia and China have much to gain from increasing cultural ties. Both countries have been working to increase mutual understanding through joint educational programs, tourism and cultural exchanges. These initiatives are aimed at building long-term goodwill and fostering closer people-to-people ties. Throughout the meeting, there were several high-level moments of cooperation and mutual respect. The tone was constructive, with both leaders acknowledging the importance of their countries working together. President Putin's emphasis on the strength of Russia-China relations was reciprocated by Premier Li's strong support for a closer, more integrated partnership. As the meeting drew to a close, the leaders agreed on a joint statement that emphasized their commitment to mutual cooperation, peace and stability. Both countries reiterated their shared vision of a more multipolar world order, one where their combined influence plays a crucial role. In closing, the meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese Premier Qiang reaffirmed the strategic partnership between Russia and China. Both nations emphasized the importance of their cooperation across multiple sectors, including defense, trade and regional security. The discussions set the stage for further collaboration in the coming years and underscored the growing alignment between the two countries. The bilateral talks reflected the deepening ties between Russia and China, marking another significant step in their partnership. As both nations continue to face external challenges, their cooperation remains a key factor in shaping the future geopolitical landscape.
平的运行。今年以来，习近平主席同总统先生通力协作，推动上海组织高质量的发展。当前的实际效果，更好地服务两国发展韧性。